Alright, how's it going everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video on the Trackmania platform tracks. Unbeknownst to me, they are releasing a new set of tracks every single week, which again, I had no idea was going to happen. I did read the patch notes and I thought that I didn't see anything in there about that, but I guess I missed it or I read it and just completely forgot. Either way, that is completely on me. So yeah, we got a new set of tracks here that we're going to check out, but recapping the first 5 tracks from the video last week, those tracks were a little bit disappointing, I think, to me and to a lot of players, at least players that have a lot more experience in the game, because the tracks were just so darn easy. Maybe that's, again, just because, you know, the people I watch and talk to are more advanced players, so maybe the casual player base had a lot more fun on those. But this week, again, you know, we got 5 more tracks here, so let's check them out. So the first of 6 tracks we got here, the first one is called Lagooning. It's got a nice light blue theming to it. All the new colors, especially the lighter colors, all look great in my opinion. Even some of the darker ones look good, but some of the darker ones I think it look terrible in my opinion. But hey, it is what it is. At least we got some new colors into the game. As far as the track and route itself goes, I think it was a little bit of a step up in difficulty from the first 5 tracks that we got. So that is good. We are heading in the right direction there, because those first 5 tracks were just so darn easy. So we needed something else here to separate the newer tracks from the old tracks. So again, that slight step up in difficulty is great. It also includes all surfaces, which was nice because I think the previous 5 tracks were all kind of revolving around the same surface on each of them. The next track here, track number 7, was called Scarlet Summit. This was a decent track. It's definitely much harder than anything we have gotten previously, because there are, you know, somewhat blind jumps throughout. You just really have to trust where the arrows are, but you also have to have a decent amount of speed to make some of these jumps, which again, you know, it's hard to see where you are jumping on some of them. So it's very easy to release a little bit too much and not make them. I say the one thing I didn't really care for on this track was this upcoming plastic turnaround. I had no idea what they were thinking with that. It really doesn't fit the theme of the rest of the track, so I could have done easily without that. There is also one jump a little bit later on, jumping into the water, which seemingly whenever I jumped onto it, you know, I would always flip and then somehow end up backwards going towards the finish. I have no idea what was up with this. I would land forwards and then my car would suddenly just flip upside down and backwards like that. Happened pretty much every time. It was really annoying, but the track itself, you know, perfectly fine, and again, a decent step up in difficulty from what we have gotten. Now, track number 8 here, Glacial Plunge. I just don't know what they were thinking with this one. I did not find any joy in driving this track, and honestly, it's hard to even say this is sort of a platform track, because there's basically only like 2 jumps in this one. You have the one immediately right at the start, and then there's one a little bit later on, which, you know, I just absolutely hated it. But as far as the parts we're on now, there's just basically no platforming. It's just slow driving on ice. You don't really need to ice slide anything. You know, I'd be perfectly fine with an ice track if you actually had to perform slides and such. But on this one, basically nothing has to be done. And then here we are going to be coming up on what, in my opinion, is just an absolutely terrible ice part and jump. Just completely blind. You're completely guessing every single time you're here. Absolutely hated this part. I had to do it so many times in order to actually get this jump. Just found it very annoying, and hopefully in the next tracks we get absolutely nothing like that jump, because it was absolutely dreadful every single time I came up on it. Next up, track number 9 is called Primula. Nice purple color scheme on this one, and honestly, this is a great track, and this would have been a great first impression for everybody if the first 5 tracks were more in this theme. A lot more jumping, a lot more, you know, kind of mild-ish speed checks on this one. It was overall a very fun track, and if this, you know, the style of this track was more so the first 5 tracks, I think the game mode would have been much better received from not only me, but a large majority of the player base. But because of those first 5 tracks, I think people are going to kind of just forget about this game mode and not really see, you know, these great tracks that are coming along, such as this one. Again, you know, just a very nice track here. Really enjoyed it, and you know, I hope you know, the future tracks are in a similar vein to this, you know, just obviously harder. So yeah, that's all I got for this one. I'll let it play out, and I'll see you for track number 10. And here we are with the final track, at least in this, release of tracks. Track 10, Just Do It. Interesting name there. Not sure why they went with that. It doesn't really fit with kind of the rest of the naming styles they've gone with the other tracks, but it is what it is. I guess you are kind of just doing it, sending a lot of different jumps here. Very enjoyable track again. Definitely more so a step up from difficulty from any of the previous tracks we got, because you need a decent amount of speed to make a lot of this stuff. You also need to know, how to make some kind of weird-ish transitions on this one compared to the other tracks as well, which kind of just featured pretty basic jumps. We got a lot of like sideways things where you got to dip off the platform, like one of the jumps that will coming up here pretty soon down into like a half pipe. Very kind of different from anything we've seen so far. So yeah, very enjoyable track. I don't have much more to say on this one. So, kind of just going over the gist of platform in general. I'm glad a pretty big step up in difficulty happened here. I think the biggest thing that is needed for the game mode at this point is leaderboards and a timer. They really messed up with that, in my opinion, because there is absolutely no incentive to continue to drive these tracks once you get 0 resets on them. So yeah, that is a must-added feature for this. I really, again, have no idea why that was not added on launch. But yeah, that is it for today's video. I kind of a different style here today, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, you can let me know by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. That would greatly help out. And I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.